cannot hope to understand, tolerate, or live in peace with each other. In fact, we live in fear of each other, suspicious and wary of our differences. Diversity, it seems, is just another word for tribalization, and the United States is nothing more than a nation of warring tribes. The events following 9/11, from the demonization of Arab Americans to the Patriot Act, to the color coding of the country into red and blue, are part of this dark and disturbing story. There is, I think, some truth to both these versions of our national story. In order to understand our country, we must first understand that. And we must see that it is possible, necessary even, to accept America as both hero and villain. The story of the Yasui family, a window on the immigrant experience in the United States, illustrates that point because it speaks to both the promise and the peril of America. The Yasui's story, the Japanese story, is both typical, the wide-eyed young immigrant stepping off the boat with big plans and empty pockets, and unique. A string of nativist legislation, from an 18th century edict that denied Asians naturalized citizenship, to the Immigration Act of 1924, which banned further Japanese immigration, plus the mass internment of more than 110,000 people of Japanese ancestry during World War II, shows in no uncertain terms that the Japanese were treated differently from other willing immigrants to America. It is an unsettling story, this century-long narrative of the Japanese experience in America. At first considered alien and unassimilatable, Japanese immigrants like Masuo Yasui, the family's patriarch, were actually feared for being the opposite. They were, just decades after arriving in this country, beating Americans at their own game. They practiced the Protestant ethic with greater energy and resolve than many of their white neighbors. They devoted themselves to work, taught their children the meaning of hard labor, and delayed their own gratification. They were the new Puritans, and the old Puritans didn't like it. Yet despite racism and wartime hysteria, the dark side of this American tale, the Yasuis and tens of thousands of other Japanese families like them succeeded. This country, grudgingly, unhappily, too slowly, gave them that chance. While never forgetting how unnecessarily tortuous the path was for families like the Yasuis, we should also not forget that the path existed. And so we can believe in both versions of America, the light and the shadow, the country that provides opportunity and then works overtime to prevent some people from gaining access to it. The Yasui's story is marbled with tragedy that reflects poorly on all of us. Yet it is also studded with success, which reflects well on us. This story has a happy ending, an America as hero ending, with the Yasuis becoming doctors, lawyers, and teachers, entrepreneurs, artists, and activists. A century ago, Masuo Yasui dreamed the American dream of equality, freedom, and physical comfort. Today, his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren are living it. Part 1. Issei, the First Generation. Japanese Immigrants to America. Chapter 1. Spacious Dreams. They called it a little kingdom of comfort and the perfect pocket of paradise. And they weren't exaggerating much, these early enthusiasts of Hood River Valley. Tucked into a 6-mile-wide, pleat-in-the-skirts of the densely timbered Cascade Mountains of western Oregon, the valley sprawled 25 miles, its floor a patchwork of infrangible forest and manicured orchards, the thick canopy of yellow pine, spruce, and fir, yielding to neat rows of apple and pear trees that bloomed paper white in the spring.